Everhays on reputation and visibility monitoring for NGOs. So very briefly, what we're going to be covering today. So just a very brief introduction as to who we are. Everhays for NGOs, I suppose the core benefits. There will be obviously a live demo as part of this. We'll be taking you through the core keyword media monitor, and then the narrative and messaging analysis. And then we'll do a brief overview around the press release distribution and media database element as well. We'll also then cover, a little bit about future features, like what we have coming later on this quarter and this year, and then pricing, and then any Q&As. If anyone wants to just leave comments as we go along, and I'll jump in and kind of address some of these. So very briefly, who are we? So we came to market there in July of 2025. Myself and CTO Cormac Lynn have been building out Everhays basically for the last 3 to 4 years. My own background, I was a PR manager for Web Summit for a number of years before then setting up my own international PR agency, where I had a lot of the same headaches a lot of other PR practitioners have around media research, media lists, media monitoring, and the fact that none of the two ever met, and you're trying to keep track of obviously different opportunities, and you've a lot going on. We wanted to basically bridge that gap, create one centralized platform, make it obviously pricing competitive, but also make sure the product itself was leveraging the abilities of combining that outbound kind of media or press release distribution piece and the media monitoring side of things. With respect to our products that we have at the moment and what's relevant to obviously the NGO sector, so we have Everhays Core, which is our media database and CRM. We have approximately 25,000 verified contacts across Ireland and the UK, about 4,000 specifically for Ireland. That includes obviously radio, TV, podcasts, regional, national, and international bureaus as well here in Ireland. We have 1,500 outlets and news desks. It comes with obviously daily updates in terms of the media research. We have our colleague Chloe, who's our head of research here, who does daily reviews on all of that. We do have a coverage book creator as well, which I'll be kind of showing you guys later on. On the media monitoring side, we have Everhays Lumen. Sorry for some of the background noise, but Lumen is, I suppose, our basic kind of keyword and keyword and alert tracker. So effectively that covers, radio, print, digital, TV, all across Ireland and partly Northern Ireland. You also get the press release distribution piece with that as well. So Lumen comes with Core. There are audience statistics that come with that, which I'll be taking you guys through. There's an unlimited amount of keywords that we give access to our clients, and all of those come with email alerts up to 3 times a day to anyone within your organization. And then we finally have Luminate, which is our advanced AI narrative and message tracking service. So again, this is around kind of providing detailed analysis around your brand itself, your organization, or the sector that you're in. It could be housing provision, it could be tackling poverty or isolation, or increasing supports around mental health. Everhays gives you the ability to track the narratives around those sectors, maybe particular ministries, and your organization itself. So again, we'll be taking you through all of that. The core benefits for NGOs, I think the first and easiest is it enables you to justify PR spend, and also your efforts on the PR side to your executive team and to the board, crucially. Whereas before, it might have been difficult, in that you might just have the number of mentions, and the estimated reach. It's very difficult to demonstrate how your message is coming across. Is it being effective? Is the work that you're doing coming through in terms of shaping the narrative around your sector? All of that is now visible, and we give you that. We give you those insights. Additionally, it's a very easy to use platform. It's designed to be quick and efficient in terms of how you use it and execute. And it gives you the ability to effectively, during crises, see your reputation live, so you can adjust your own media strategies to respond. So without further ado, I shall just get going with the demo itself. So, as I say, at any stage, during the demonstration, if you want to leave your comments below, I can see them here, and I can respond accordingly. So Everhouse has a centralized dashboard where we combine your media database and your media monitoring side of things. So any of the outbound communications you can see here in terms of emails that might be sent, the actions behind that, so that might be press releases or pitches or statements that you're issuing. You can see here the rough engagement score, so we call this kind of editorial effectiveness tracking. So you can see during particular periods where you're getting higher levels of engagement on particular stories or not. And then we have obviously your coverage tracker here in terms of what the rate of return is across that. We have a 30-day average engagement score here as well. You can also see your statistics in terms of what might be coming through in terms of mentions. There's an opportunity manager here as well to manage your media relations, and then any pending or dropped opportunities. Again, you can keep track of this for historical purposes, across the team. You can also add here, objectives, KPIs, and progress for reporting purposes if you wish. We also have coverage books here that you can view at any stage. I'll just show you an example here. These are branded coverage books that come through, based on the articles you select, and they can be created, in real time at any stage, which I'll be showing you shortly. So that's the dashboard. We have our campaigns here, which I'll get to maybe near the end. I suppose when it comes to reputation tracking, what we're all used to right now is just doing kind of very straightforward brand searches. So, for example, if I'm looking for mentions of the Irish Cancer Society, for example, over the last 7 days across the different channels. You can just do a very straightforward and simple search that will recover all of the core metrics, and then it'll bring me through the 85 radio mentions there, and so some of this will bring you through to your audience statistics. So I'll just give it a second there. So what Everhouse generates here is across your channels, right? So digital views, radio, print. Radio sometimes can skew the results because of the large levels of volume that it can get. So you can strip that out to get into some of the core numbers, where you can add kind of additional context there. You have your social class breakdown there, your gender breakdown, your age demographics, the platforms in which you're featured the most across. And the whole idea here is that, like these are JNLR, ABC, and Similar Web backed in terms of kind of the underlying data. You can then see as well on the right-hand side here all of the resulting articles themselves. So estimated views, the link to the coverage, a bit of a summary around the article itself. Your radio clippings here come provisionally with your transcript. If you want to generate the clip, you just select it here, add it to a list, and it'll generate that clip for you. You also have let me just see if I can find a print example here. Access to all of your print. We do have kind of colored tiles for the articles themselves, so you can see specifically, so you can basically just kind of filter out the noise across them all. So let me see if I can find my blue card here on the print side. me see. I have another example. I suppose I can show here if I can find it. I think there was only one mention in amongst it all. So that's kind of a very straightforward application of the Media Monitor. You can just create lists here. So new list Irish Cancer Society will say, move that into your list here. And then you can create alerts off the back of that. So on the right hand side here of the Lumen dashboard, you have all of your lists. And that list that we've just created there, Irish Cancer Society, if I just select auto refresh, I can add in my email address. I can set alerts for whatever times I want. If it's 6 a.m., include Saturday and Sunday, hit save, and then that will start generating a result every day for me. Now, it could be the case where I start getting results and they're not entirely relevant. Maybe we have an ad campaign going on, so I can take out my advertisement. And maybe specifically I want to know about a program within this. So it could be research, I can very specifically add in my relevant topics or remove any of the noise that I wish. Flexible matching is the concept where if there's any nuance in a name, I always use kind of Michal and Michael as an example, but if there's any nuance in a name, maybe sometimes there's Irish spelling, you can add flexible matching to the search, and it will just bring in some of those kind of nuanced pieces as well. Again, the whole idea here is that we give you as much ability to curate your search list as possible, so that you can get what you want. We also have this feature here. So with respect to your dashboard, if it's brand, you just want to kind of connect one or several search lists to your dashboard to track your return of effort, you can just select that, and that will then update your dashboard accordingly. So that's Lumen. Again, you can create as many searches as you wish, and then I will move on to Luminate, which is our AI narrative product, and specifically the reputation tracking side of things. So an example that I would have kind of maybe put together earlier with respect to maybe a smaller scale NGO, which is one of our charity partners, Ugly Shinta na Héireann, here in Ireland, the Irish Veteran Charity. So very specifically, there's kind of 7 mentions here. Luminate basically groups and lists the relevant trending topics. Every article or every mention is recorded, analyzed, and charted, and it's weighted basically on the significance of the publication and the mention in terms of reputation, and then it's scored in terms of a cumulative factor. So you can see over time how well your market permeation is going, or your market awareness is going. Within your search list, you can search kind of particular keywords. You can also tag any of these mentions here for briefings. If you're doing any internal briefings and you want to show kind of things specifically, you can do that as well. You can download all your coverage as a CSV if needs be, and you can also kind of create those coverage books, as I mentioned here earlier. They are branded, so you can add whatever coverage you wish. There's a couple of holding images here. You can also upload your own. And as your title, you can change kind of the color schemes around it as well, based on your brand colors or whatever, and then you just generate it, and it kind of brings you through to whatever you need to do. One larger scale example I might give then is around particular industries, right? So let me see. I'll come back to the housing one now in a second, but I want to do one say around the theme of poverty. So in the last 3 months, basically, when we track the keyword poverty in Irish media across all the channels, there's about 17 main kind of trending keywords. Some of these around school meals, food bank, child poverty, international aid, LGBTQ issues. So again, when you're tracking large-scale volumes of a sector, or a charity or organization, a government minister, a government ministry, the dimensions can run into the thousands. It's not manually possible to obviously assess all of those. So with Everhaze here this morning, I generated this report. So over 1,000 mentions across all of the different channels. Again, all of these mentions have been analysed, weighted, scored, and then charted here. The reds are obviously mentions that are deemed negative. The greens positive. There's obviously groupings then in the middle that are largely neutral. So just basically news mentions. You can see cumulatively, in a topic. So again, with the theme of poverty, a positive score would be indicative that progress is maybe being made on policy issues, or that there's been good news, that there's been kind of relevant statistics that have shown progress, and tackling childhood poverty, whatever it might be. Obviously, if there's been a large dip, that's it has to be attributable to something. So this chart here is interactable, so you can click on any of these groupings of bubbles, and you can see specifically what the articles that are driving that negative sentiment are. So in this case, poverty-related issues in relation to Northern Ireland, around living wages. We also have migration issues, as a report from the ESRI, highlighting poverty related to migrant status. We have a radio clipping here around that issue as well. And again, all of these are just very easy to assess. You can tag them for future briefings and so on when you're doing kind of internal things. Here's an example then of your print, so you get a sense as to what's there, and kind of that are things in relation to fuel poverty. And so on, right? So the whole idea here is that from a sectoral perspective, you can see exactly the impact that you guys might be having within that sector and shaping the narrative, right? Your research, etc. Again, you can click on any of these sections to see what is contributing to the score, and how it's weighted. So I think we have here. One of the more negative scores was attributed to, I believe, Rwanda. So there was, again, this is a really good example. So this was an advertising campaign that was on the radio. So this is a radio campaign. So we might say to ourselves, look, this might not necessarily be relevant. So we can go to the dashboard itself. I can have a look at the topics that we've identified, and I can remove that topic entirely, or I can adjust the sentiment based on maybe what we deem that to be. So in this case, maybe there's a charity out there that is running this advertising campaign. They would maybe deem that positive as opposed to negative from their viewpoint, and that they're highlighting the issue. So that can be adjusted, and then you can bring that into your internal briefings. Some of the other aspects of Everhaze here, there is a message tracker. So with respect to your own core messaging, press releases that might be going out, or maybe briefings you're doing that you want to see if it's coming out in across media, you can set up a message converter tracker, so you can see what level of these kind of 1,000 mentions across the industry are coming through with your messaging in terms of positive and negative. You can also see a flow chart in relation to the delivery as to where that's coming from, and then a neutral sentiment analysis piece then as well. You have your usual audience statistics as part of that, and then you have a geographic breakdown on a county by county basis as to what level of market permeation you're getting. And there are additional statistics that we add here, kind of based on average mentions per head of population and so on. So that is the that's I suppose our reputation tracker. Very quickly, we have a full media database for Ireland. I just kind of search for business as an example. So this comes with newsrooms, journalists. Within this, you get a sense as to what the journalist does, etc. You can copy to clipboard, send from your own inbox. You can obviously add them to whatever media lists you are looking for. Very straightforward and simple. Those then, I suppose, with respect to the list themselves, very straightforward to set up. You have your kind of media list here. I might just do one, say, for Galway as an example. Keywords. Keep it on. And then you can auto-populate. So basically what I'm saying here is any journalist from Galway that we want, just to create a core list off of that, and we can do something more specific. But let me see. Let's see now. Where's that list now that I just created today? There you go. So 52 journalists there. In Galway, local journalists, etc., or those who are covering the region. And then we have a content manager, so you can store your images, documents, templates, all of your kind of press releases or whatever. And then when you're happy to distribute, then go to your relevant campaign, and then set up if you wish to send a follow-up email. You can select your content from the content manager here. You can see the preview as to what's going to be sent out. You can add attachments up to 25 megabytes per attachment. You have a scheduler in terms of forward scheduling or not. As I say, you have your media list manager here, so you can add whichever kind of relevant lists you feel you wish will be added in there. At any stage, you can kind of click through to see who that person is, what they cover. This is your GDPR side of things. So if you need to mute a journalist, blacklist anyone, or create, anyone who's been flagged as invalid, that'll be captured there. You can then customize your email to any particular journalist that you might need to, and then you can send that through to your inbox just to test it. So that is the full platform. We're kind of coming up on time. I did say half an hour. So very quickly, just in terms of the future features that we have lined up. So we have our social media monitor, the beta version launching at the end of Q2 this year. We have an outlet-specific narrative monitor. So if you want to see specifically how the Irish Times, maybe, or the Sunday Independent is covering a particular story, we'll have that again by Q2 of this year. Automated strategic insight reports. So for large-scale kind of strategic reports, we will be rolling out an automated version of that where Everhaze will do kind of deep statistical analysis for you and produce nice PDFs off the back of that. And we do hope by the end of this year to start bringing, I suppose the future of maybe what PR will be, which is agentic AI support. So leveraging the platform. So based on prompts, you can access kind of particular information, so campaign analysis, setting up of campaigns, media research, content editing, and so on. And then look, the important part, just with respect to pricing then. So the webinar itself, webinar exclusive. So for Everhaze Core, it's €2,000 for the year. So that's your press release distribution and your your press release distribution and media database. For Everhaze Luma, which is the media monitor, it's €4,000. But if you come on board before the end of March, we reduce that down to 3,000. So you get your keyword monitor, your alerts, along with the media database and the press release distribution. And then Everhaze Luminate, which is that full kind of AI product. And again, if you wanted the full product for €5,000, if you agree to come on by the 30th of March, we'll make that available for you guys as well. Anyone who comes on board with us, I suppose this year, gets access to all of our betas that we're rolling out between now and December. And yeah, look, if there's anyone who has any questions, feel free to drop them down below. I don't see anything there. But having said that, there is, I think, a 60-second lag on my side. So I would say I might have to wait to see. What I will do is afterwards, I'll make this presentation available to everyone who's been who attended or who couldn't make it. And look, at any stage, feel free to get in touch with us at info@everhaze.com if you have any questions. So look, I might. We're coming up on time there now, so we might end this live. But thank you everyone for coming and for taking the time out to have a look at the platform. If you'd like to have a private demo, let us know as well. info@everhaze.com, and we can take you through your own use cases. And yeah, listen, thanks so much, everyone, for your time.